So welcome everybody to our July monthly group coach-a-thon, and we are moving into month 7 of our 12-month year. So hopefully it's all uphill for everybody right now and not a lot of ups and downs in your business, but kind of just coasting along and maybe have some good rises as well. At least that's what we are hoping for. Oh, Amy put in a USA flag. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. So how'd you like that song, Sandra? Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I've heard it before. I've heard it before. It's a very powerful song. Yeah.
Have you seen the video before, though?
I'm sure I've seen the video. I don't remember seeing the video, but I
Yeah,
definitely remember the song.
yeah. It's pretty, the video really brings it all home. And I love the part where he goes from Minnesota to Tennessee. I'm from Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota is a state that touches Canada, and Tennessee is a state down south that touches,
So,
you know, the water, I
mhm.
think. So yeah, I love that. That warmed my heart. So we are talking about spam tonight, and I already said, yeah, okay, guys, you want us to talk about spam. I wasn't going to do a training on spam because the people that come to this coachathon, they're not the spammers. So we're kind of using this as a time to get it off your chest, if we must say, or what kind of spamming are you being inundated with right now that you would like to, I mean, rather than stand up and be mad and upset about it, I like to try to do things. What can we do to counteract it? In other words, what action steps can we do to counteract the spammers and not get our feathers all up? I just saw Mark Harbert post a post a little bit ago about he gets haters. And he says, anytime I have a hater that jumps on my content, I just say, well, that's why you're broke, and stuff like that. So, but just for you guys to just be thinking about what is it you're running into and what are you doing to counteract it. I know you're not doing the spamming, but you might be and you may not know it. So I went to our friend and our friendly tool, ChatGPT AI, and I asked it some examples. What are some examples of content or actions that are considered spam on Facebook? And I got, of course, I only asked for 10, so I got 10. And this is what AI came up with. And I know you guys are familiar with some of these. Repeatedly posting the same content in different groups or on different pages. Now, I know for a fact that there are people that do this and they don't even know it's spam. We've had a guy in a mastermind that I attend who got caught doing it in a Facebook group, and the Facebook itself, because Facebook will manage a group as well as profiles. It doesn't just do profiles and stuff like that. If you have a group, the algorithm will catch people that are spamming in your group and give the admin a warning and say, look, this is spam or this is whatever, and you need to do something about it. And the other thing is, if things like that happen in your group and you ignore it and don't do anything about it, Facebook will kick you out of your Facebook group and you will not be able to get back in unless you have somebody else who's an admin of your Facebook group. That's why they recommend, if you have a Facebook group that you're building, that you have a trusted friend or a trusted somebody that you would ask if they would be willing to admin your group, which means they need to take on the willingness to be responsible as well, not just be that person. So if you get locked out, you can get back in, but to also take action when certain things happen in a Facebook group that is considered spam. And the thing that this guy was doing, it wasn't just that. He was taking somebody else's adverb, which means, when we're creating posts that talk about promoting something, it's an adverb. It's not a paid ad, but it's still an adverb. And he was taking their content, he copied it because it was relevant to what he was doing, and he started pasting it in Facebook groups. Now, so he did two things right there. He plagiarized his content, and number two, he was spamming. So you might want to think about something like that. If there's anything that you've done as far as posting, and when we talk about the same content, it can be a related piece of content that you can post, but if it's exactly the same, some people, you can sometimes get away with it if you do it 3 different places, but any more than that, the algorithm's going to catch it. And then using descriptive tactics to increase likes, followers, or engagement, such as buying likes and using clickbait. Now, many of you have a business page, and way back when in the day when Facebook was, pretty active with business pages, people would actually be able to buy likes, which means, or they would have a tool that would go and run up and down their business page and find different people and like that page on their behalf. Well, Facebook, they've gotten wise to those types of tactics, and those tools are no longer allowed to be used on Facebook. But that's one of them. And when I started 2015, 2016, I would always hear about buy likes, and get as many people to like your business page as possible. And so everybody goes out and they like, would you like my page? Go like my page. And they're still doing it today with Facebook groups. There's Facebook groups that will say a like for a like, and they'll say some of these direct sales groups, so they'll say, let's do a like for a like post, so go like my business page. You drop the link of your business page in that group, people go like it, and then you have to go back through the string and you have to find those people that liked your business page and go like their business page. So they're still doing it today, but I think Facebook's cracking down on that stuff, and it's not happening as much as it used to. Now, the reason you don't want to do that is because Facebook recognizes that when somebody likes your page, it gives it more weight if that person spends time on your page, engaging in your content, liking your content. But if people just come to like your page just to get your numbers up, it does not help your algorithm like it used to. It used to be the more likes you had, the better Facebook would show your content. It doesn't even matter anymore. Facebook changed all that. 2022, I believe it was, and you probably have seen it, where now when you hit the liking of a business page, it'll say following. Do you want to follow this page? So a page can have 10,000 likes, but only 4,000 followers. It's the followers that Facebook's going to pay attention to, not the number of likes. So just to help you remind you about that. And then, of course, clickbait. And I don't think any of you guys are doing the clickbait, but it's where you trick somebody into clicking on something that takes them somewhere that they're not even interested in. And I had a gal that I've been kind of talking to lately who's she's talking about scripture. She has a lot of scripture on her profile and prayer and all that. And so I was trying to get her invited to join the Read the Bible in 52 weeks, which starts up again in September. And she's got this daily verb thing. And I was asking her about it. I said, what is that? And she says, well, it's just, it's a group chat that we can get into that we've got a lot of people in. and we do prayers, and we do, you know, encouraging words, and, you know, encouraging one another, and so on and so forth. Would you like to join? I thought might be a good place for me to find some prospects, right? So I said, yeah. Well, that's not what it was. It's a financial platform that you can sign up for to, um, it's kind of like if you buy stock, you know, then you can get revenue from the stock that you have, depending on if it goes up or down or whatever. So it's a platform where they have different types of financial packages that you can get into, so that you put your money in there and it invests it for you and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't even have anything to do with prayers or encouraging words or anything like that. Now that's clickbait. And I was pretty disappointed when that's what happened, because I was very clear when I asked her, when she asked me about this group she wanted me to join. And she said, no, that's not what it is. Okay, well, I'll bite. But no, no money lost. You know, no one's hurt. I was just fairly disappointed. And the other thing is using headlines or running false promotions. Some people are running a promotion for a certain something, but you don't really quite know what that something is. And then you click on it and it takes you someplace, and it's like, it has nothing to do with what the content was. So, but I'm not sure that you see much of that. And then we've got automated posting, scraping, and messaging tools that go against Facebook policies. So I'm seeing a lot of that right now. I don't know about you guys, but there are some virtual assistants. I don't know if it's a team or a group, but you may be seeing ads about, and I see them because I'm a coach, so you may not even see these, but can you take 20 to 50 new clients on board? Would you like some help getting 20 or 50 new clients? You might see something like, would you like 10 or 50 more customers, or whatever? You might see something like that. And what it is, it's a service, and it's a tool that you buy into, and it gets set up where it goes out and it finds friends in your niche, or people that are interested in your product or interested in what you're doing. I think Sandra's using something similar to this, and it brings them back. It sends them a friend request. It sends them a message, and then it goes on and it continues on with that conversation. And it might be linked to email autoresponder, where eventually, if you get them into your Facebook group, you can get their email address. It'll automatically send them an email, welcome to the group email, and that kind of stuff. It's an automated process that a lot of these people are using. They're not using it the right way. There's a right way and a wrong way, which talks about the Facebook guidelines, the approved policies that Facebook has provided to allow these tools to be used on Facebook. And another one is sharing inappropriate or offensive content, such as hate speech, nudity, or violence. And I think sometimes people don't even recognize that if there's a piece of content that someone put up that was not intentionally directed at a specific person, that person took it the wrong way, and then they vomit all over everybody that has connected with that post about their opinion or whatever the case may be. And I think, again, it's like I've always said, you set the tone for the content on your profile. You set the tone for the content in your Facebook group. And if you're speaking high integrity, positive conversations, and not allowing negative conversations, even people responding to your content, that is not what I'm talking about. That will attract the positive, but those naysayers, those rogues, they sneak in there every once in a while because they got to have the last word. So you might see something like that. And what I do is I either delete their comment or I hide it, because when they do that, it pushes your content up. But if you don't want people to see that comment, You know, you can hide it or delete it. And tagging, you know, I hear this all the time, especially in the network marketing industry. I'll hear, I want you to create, you know, let's say you're the network marketer and your upline has a challenge for you for the week. And they're saying, I want you to create a post every day this week or do a Facebook Live every day this week talking about the benefits of your products. And I want you to tag me in it. I want you to tag whoever, you know, they don't even understand that that really is violating Facebook's guidelines, because the only time that we really should be tagging people is when they, of course, this is permission based, so that person is giving you permission to do it. But because somebody tells them to tag them in it, now they're thinking, I can tag all my friends in this post. Well, your friends might not want to be tagged in that post. You haven't spoken to them. They didn't say, anytime you post, tag me. So tagging kind of gets used in the wrong way. There's a good way and a bad way of using tags. Now, when you've got a piece of content on your profile and you've got people taking action on it, and they come in and they give you love or they give you a wow and they make a comment, when you go to reply to their comment, Facebook automatically tags that person on your behalf. If you guys notice that when you hit reply to that person's comment, it'll show that person's name. Like if I replied to a comment Marcy did on one of my posts, it would say Marcy, and then I would write my response back to her. Maybe I would just, thank you so much, I appreciate you being here. Or maybe I'd ask another question to see if she's going to keep the conversation going. That is Facebook's algorithm working. That's fine. That's the way it should be. That is a positive benefit for marketers, network marketers, direct sales reps, coaches, anybody using Facebook to build their business, because when that person's tagged in that comment, they get a notice that you responded to their comment. It'll go into their notifications. And if they're checking their notifications and they hit it, it'll take them right back to that post so they can continue that conversation. So Facebook is helping us to stay in front of our audience. That's why it's very important that we always do things that have a call to action on them, where we're asking the opinion of our audience, where we're asking them to take action. We're asking them to do something. That is one of the things that Facebook is helping us with. And then if you're just using tags to get attention, that is not good marketing at all. So you want to be mindful of the way that you use tags. And then creating fake accounts or pages to impersonate real people or business. Yeah, we all know that spam. We know it keeps going on and on and on. And I don't know that Facebook's ever going to be able to stop that. But we are wise and we recognize those fake accounts, don't we, ladies? We know when that person is like, first of all, if you go, you know, if you check it out, it'll say, you'll see it in the hidden background, it'll say new Facebook account. So if you got somebody that's got 5 friends and they're hitting you up for something, you know, you want to be very cautious. And then posting links that lead to malware or phishing scams. And that stuff we all know is going on in Messenger. It's been going on in Messenger for a very, very long time. And that's why it's very, very, very important. If you don't see a preview of a link that they've put in there for you to use, do not use the link, because it's going to get you in trouble. And we all know that. And sending unsolicited messages or friend requests to strangers. Now, ding, 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 ding. This is the thing that the direct sales, the network marketer industry tells you to do, right, guys? They tell you, reach out and ask to be 50 friends, 50 people a day, or 10 people a day, or whatever. And that's against Facebook guidelines, first of all, and it's also spamming. And that's why I always teach. I very rarely send a friend request. And if I do send a friend request, it's because there was something that happened that was going on that I needed to get a hold of that person, or that person I met somewhere and I told them I'm going to send you a friend request so we can connect. But I very, very rarely send friend requests. So I didn't even realize that that would be considered a spam, because we're network marketers, we're on there trying to build a business and we need more more people to talk to. And that's why a lot of times you will see where you've sent somebody a friend request and Facebook will come back and say, do you know this person? Well, you can lie and say, yeah, I know this person. But if you're an honest person, you're going to get that little quiver in your heart and you're going to go, no, I'm not, and that's where that comes in. Now, the idea where Facebook goes to everybody and says, here's a whole bunch of people that you might know. And that's where they get this thing, and they go in, they just hit add, 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 add. They don't send a message, they don't do anything. Facebook says I might know these people, so I'm going to add them all as friends. You don't want to do that either. I mean, that's spam as well. But the crazy thing is why does Facebook do that if all it does is attract spammers to people that are trying to do something legitimate on Facebook? And then asking people to like or share your content without providing any context or value. Now, there was a time when that was a specific strategy where some of the trainers were telling everybody, okay, that you're in my Facebook group. You need to be friends with the people that are in the Facebook group. Everybody needs to friend each other. Everybody needs to get to know each other and meet each other. This is our community. It's a way of building community. And then what you need to do is try to find 10 or 15 of those people that will be willing to go to your profile every other day and engage on some of your content. You don't want them all coming to your profile the same day, but that was one of the strategies that they were teaching, was to get people that were your friends to go to your content and to like and comment and share your content out to their friends, share it to their profile or whatever, so that their friends would see it. That's an old strategy, but they're probably still doing it. I haven't seen a lot of it, but and I know again, I'm not meaning to pick on direct sales people, but there's a lot of them that are doing live video shows on, let's say, a business page. They're even doing it on their personal profile, and they'll tell their audience, make sure you share this out to your friends. Make sure you share this. Make sure you share that. Well, that really is violating Facebook guidelines. They don't want you doing that. And if the algorithm hears you saying that, sometimes it shuts that video down right now, or sometimes it'll block that post. You won't even be able to have it show up on your timeline because it's not proper etiquette. Let's put it that way. And then the last one is promoting pyramid schemes or other ways to make quick money that violate Facebook's community standards. And I think many of us know pyramid schemes are an illegal business model where individuals join the scheme and pay a fee to become a member. They are then encouraged to recruit more members who also pay a fee, and the original member earns a commission based on the fees collected from their recruits. Now, how many of you have heard of Live Good? As I look at that business model, I tend to feel more and more that it's a pyramid scheme. It's not going to last because the SCC is going to catch on, and they're going to get shut down massively. And here's the reason I say that. I have a friend who is in it. He's been in it for quite a while, and he's trying to get me to come into it. And every time I turn around, there's another Live Good person trying to get me to come into it. And I always do my homework, guys. I don't just jump into an opportunity just because it looks beautiful. I do my homework. So I went back to my friend, and I trust him. You know, he's a pretty legitimate guy, because I keep seeing and hearing Live Good right now is the fastest growing company in the United States in the online space. Okay. The other thing is, one of the top earners in that company grew like from 0 to like 400 and some people in just a few hours. Now, to grow a massive team like that in a short period of time, there's got to be something going on. And the other thing I asked was, are you making any money? And he said, yeah, I get $25 every time somebody signs up. They don't have to buy anything. They just have to sign up. What's the definition of a period scheme or an illegal business model? They have to pay a fee to become a member. Okay. Now, Live Good, you don't have to pay a fee to become a member. You can just buy the products and be a customer for free. But if you want to earn an income, you have to pay a fee. It's a monthly fee. It's $9.95 a month to be in Live Good, where you can start building that team underneath you and reap the benefits of the commissions or whatever their money structure is. So that was the other thing that was like a red flag to me. Again, the scheme typically requires members to continue recruiting in order to make money, and those at the top of the pyramid earn the most, while those at the bottom earn nothing or lose money. So I'm not sure that level may not be part of Live Good, because they don't force you to recruit. They don't tell you you have to. But if you want to make any money, guess what you're gonna have to do. They're illegal because they're unsustainable, and they rely on an ever-increasing number of new recruits to pay off the earlier investors. Eventually, the scheme collapses when there are not enough new recruits to support the payouts. So we'll see how long it lasts. Now, anybody have anything they want to bring up before I move on? Anybody? Nope. Iris, Sandra, Marcy?
Yeah, like there's people, like you were saying about the page like for life. They'll do that with their VIP groups, like join for join. But sometimes it'll be like the same person that'll post it on a daily basis in like an advertising group or whatever. And you know what they and it gets to the point where they're posting it constantly, their group, wanting people to join, and they're asking people to be active in their group. But how active are they going to be in everybody else's group if they're in like hundreds to thousands of groups?
Yeah, it's unrealistic.
Yeah,
The
it makes
expectation
no
is
sense.
unrealistic, first of all. Now, is it the admin that's posting their ad in their group? So it's the admin that's getting the benefit, or is it any?
No, it's just the person who's in the particular group
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Yeah. Or like you get people and they're posting like 5 or 6 times a day in the same group, similar content, and they're posting their website link saying, "Oh, I need so many sales, who can help me?" Like, no one's going to help you if you're not trying to help them.
Yeah, it's sad that they think
Yeah,
that they're actually desperate. They are so
right,
desperate. They're like, I don't know how to do this, so I'm just gonna do this and
right,
I'm gonna lay my dollar on the ground, hope somebody picks it up.
right,
You
yeah.
know?
Or I've been challenged to sell like 10
Yeah,
that's a bowl from Tupperware. Who can help me?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And
what's
sadly,
that bowl gonna do for me?
the admins in some of those groups aren't doing their job because that should not be allowed in most Facebook groups,
Right,
you know. So it's not necessarily a good group to even want to join. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's a
right.
lot of that going
I
on too.
agree.
Anything else that you've seen, Marcy?
um, I think that's basically it, and other than like the travel agents that are always blasting vacation sales everywhere.
On their profile, you mean? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, and in ad groups
Oh,
and
in ag group.
profiles.
Yeah,
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 they're always trying to get people to join a vacation, but they're in a direct sales advertising group, and a lot of direct sellers aren't going to go on those vacations.
yeah, yeah. They're just really wasting their time is what they're doing.
Right, because they're in the wrong type of group for
Exactly.
what they have.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So Iris, you came onto camera. Did you have something you wanted to share with us or a question?
No, I'm just listening. It sounds
Okay.
very interesting. I'd like to adjust my background somehow. I guess I do that when I get out of Zoom, right?
Actually, you can do it right now if you want.
Where do I go?
You go, if you're on your computer or are you on a
Yeah,
phone? You're on your
computer.
computer. You go down where it's got the little camera down in the bottom toolbar that says right now it should say stop video.
Yes,
Okay, there's like a caret on the right. It's an upside down V.
right.
Open that up
Oh,
and
and
you
take
say,
a
do you
look.
want to choose a virtual background? Right now, it looks like you have it on blur.
Yeah,
So it'll say choose the background and it'll open up to your account where you can go and pick. I think it's once you get in there,
yeah.
scroll up
Okay,
and go to where your backgrounds are and you can pick one.
okay. I'll pick one that looks like I'm where I want to be
That
on the
looks
beach
good right
somewhere.
there.
Okay, then I okay.
But what if you click on a virtual background and it just gives you blur or none as the choices?
That's what you get. You get blur and you get none.
Oh, okay, so the choices.
Those are
Okay.
choices. Yeah. But they're
Okay.
usually in most accounts, there's at least two or three
Yeah.
choices that are in there already. That's part of the system. And then you can actually go to Canva and make one for yourself. Or even on Canva, they even have Zoom video backgrounds that you can pick and upload to your Zoom.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That's how
Yeah,
I made this one here, my
yeah,
beach
I like it.
scene, and put my logo on it. And then I have my other one that's in the office one with my logo on it. And my very best friend just turned 74, no, 75. She just turned 75. She lives in Iowa and her
Oh,
birthday's in June. And last year we started hanging out on her birthday because she lives alone. You
yeah.
know, what are you doing on your birthday? Nothing. I said, well, we're gonna have a birthday party. So I made a big banner and hung it up on my I had a virtual, not virtual, I have a room divider in my office that I pinned it on. So when she came on, it had "Happy Birthday, Mary Jane," that I had made for her. And I thought, well, why don't I just go in Canva and make one? So this year I went into Canva and I made one
Oh,
and
nice.
uploaded it. So when she came on, it said happy, and I had shared my screen to YouTube and I had a happy birthday song stuff playing when she came in. So it was like,
I saw
she was
that.
like, she was like just blown away. She was so surprised. So, yeah, it's really
Yeah,
can
for
have a
sure.
lot of fun with Zoom and Canva and just
Yeah,
making everybody feel like they're really in the room with you. So they
that's
really,
right. Well, thank you.
yeah. Okay, so um it says here, according to AI, he's got some practices for Facebook that can help you to avoid appearing spammy. And it says, create genuine, informative, and engaging content that provides value to your audience. You know, that's a no-brainer. That's, you know, sure, you can get an idea from somebody else, but don't use their exact content. Use the idea that sparked the creativity within you and create your own stuff. Post on a regular schedule, but don't overpost or overwhelm your followers' news feeds. So, you know, again, a lot of these companies say you need to post 5, 6, 10, 12 times a day. No, 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 no. Have you ever gotten in the day when the annual catalog came out, Sears Roebuck or Pennies or whatever, and it comes in the mail, and the kids are fighting over it, and for Christmas time, you know, the Christmas section comes in, the kids are fighting over it, they get that catalog and they sit down and they just flip the pages, you know, you see all these pages, these different things. Well, that's what happens to your news feed when you go and post every day, the same time, and then again, and then again, and then again. There's this young lady I've been trying to help, and I was looking at her profile, and it's like, okay, she's got a good morning post on her profile. What's the next post? Good morning. What's the next post? Good morning. What's the next post? Good morning. It was the same thing every day. The time that she had to go post on her profile, she put the same thing. She was getting great engagement, but that was the same post, you know? All right, Iris, you're just having way too much fun over there, girlfriend.
I am, but I'm listening.
I know you are. You're being a very good student. Check out the avatars, Iris. Let's see what she comes up with. And the idea is 3 times a day is really the, I wouldn't say minimum, but might be a goal you might want to reach. You might want to make sure you put something up in the morning, put something up later on in the afternoon, early evening, something up later on in the evening, because you've got people in different time zones on your profile. So you might get up and start working at 9 in the morning. So you put up a good morning post. You welcome everybody to the day, maybe talk a little bit about what your plans are, ask them what their plans might be, and then maybe around dinner time or late afternoon snack time, you might get time to go in and put up a piece of value, you know, maybe talk a little bit about a product that you're using, that you're getting these great results, or whatever it is, whatever industry you're in. And then maybe later on the evening, you know, whatever time, 6, 7, 8 p.m. your time, maybe just, you know, closing out the day. How did your day go? You know, whatever, just value and engaging content and a promotion. But your promotion should only be 2 out of every 10 pieces of content. So you don't have something talking about, you know, if you're really interested in learning more about this awesome cream that I'm using that has just brought my skin back to life, just drop a me down below and I'll get with you. You know, you don't want to be doing 4, 5, 6 of those a day. You know, no. You start doing that, you're going to run your audience off. They're not even going to bother to come to your profile. But if you're giving them something to laugh about when they come to your profile, or an encouraging word, or a comforting word, or something that makes them feel good about themselves, they're going to keep coming back. And then Make sure you're using hashtags sparingly. Now, this is so funny because Facebook owns Instagram. Everybody thinks that they can do everything on Facebook they do on Instagram and get the results that they want. But they do not recognize that Instagram's hashtags are used in a different way. People will go and look for a certain hashtag and find all the posts that have to do with that hashtag because it's something. Let's say you're in the pet industry, so you do a hashtag schnauzer, hashtag poodle, or hashtag Himalayan or whatever, and you want to see more content on that specific hashtag. You would go in and search for that hashtag and find all the people that talk about that particular terrier. That's different. Facebook is a totally different story. Hashtags on Facebook are actual clickable links. So if you're in the fashion industry, and let's say that you specialize in clothing for, let's say, the senior woman, the senior citizen, and you use hashtag senior fashions, okay? And then you're branded for yourself. So like mine is hashtag Ask Coach MJ, or maybe it's hashtag Iris Storyteller, or whatever your branded hashtag is that you want to use. Now, you're in the fashion industry, so you might use hashtag senior fashion or something else fashion. Now, your particular brand might be hashtag senior fashions by MJ. Okay, see the difference? Now, when you go and hit that hashtag on the Facebook, it'll take you to every post on Facebook that has that hashtag on it. So if you are in the fashion industry and you're using hashtag senior fashion, you're going to find every fashion person that's using that hashtag, and they may be in the fashion industry. So now you're drawing attention to somebody else's content. Whereas if you use your branded hashtag, fashion by, now you're the only one that would use it because not anybody else is going to have that name. And now you're going to be able to just say, if you want to see more of my fashions, just look for hashtag fashions by MJ or hashtags fashion by whatever it is. And that's the way that the hashtags work on Facebook. So if you want to see content that I produce, you just go into the search bar and type hashtag Ask Coach MJ, hit enter, and you're going to find content that has my hashtag on it. It's my content. It's not somebody else's content unless they, for some reason, wanted to give me a shout out or whatever. When we did our Facebook Live challenge, when we did our positive mental attitude challenge, I created hashtag PMA challenge, I think it was, or something. And I directed everybody that was doing a live video to use that hashtag on their content, on their profile, so that I could find their content, because there were prizes that were being given out for people that were taking action. And we are on okay, this is a Girl Scout deal. You know, you said you did video every day. We're going to trust that you did it. But I would just want to randomly go through and make sure that the people that are saying they're doing it are doing it. And it was also a way for the members in that group who were participating in the challenge to engage with one another, boost their algorithm, maybe get new friends, and find more content relevant to them, because they would use that hashtag and be able to sit on Facebook and watch other people's content, learn from them, engage on their content without having to jump all over the place. So there's a big difference in the way Instagram works in Facebook, especially when it comes to hashtags. So that's maybe a tip that you guys weren't aware of. So if you don't have a branded hashtag, you might want to think about it. Oops. Iris fell off. What's this? Oh, thank you, Margene. This has been another one of your great sessions. I have another session starting at 6, so I have to run. This has been very informative. I'll catch the rest on the replay. P.S. I'd like to be notified when you start to read the Bible in 52 weeks in September. Thanks. Okay, I'll send you the link for that. Okay, so using hashtags. Anybody got any more questions on hashtags or ideas? In other words, don't use hashtags that are irrelevant to your content.
Okay.
It says don't use hashtags that are irrelevant, that they're not related to your content.
So when I do,
Go
when
ahead.
I do, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You had a
Okay.
question.
Good. When I when I use my when I use hashtags, I usually have it try to tag it to what I'm doing. For example, I'm a caregiver lifestyle, so I usually, if I'm talking about sleep, then I hashtag sleep. I do try to make it specific to my content. But one of the things that I'm learning, or I've heard something that you just said, and I'm evaluating it against something that I heard before about the use of hashtags that have very large numbers, and they were saying that it's better to keep to use hashtags that are not like in the millions. For example, happiness. If you put hashtag happiness, you might get 10 million, 50 million, 20 million people who use that hashtag, or who use that hashtag or circulate that hashtag amongst people who are on social media, and it's not to your advantage to be using hashtags that are used by everyone else, because I can't quite remember the rationale that they gave, but it suggested to me that the smaller the hashtag amount, those is where you get the biggest bang for your buck. Because if you're using a hashtag for 20 million, that doesn't mean that 20 million people will be seeing it. Probably you'll be
Oh, no,
competing.
it has, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Mhm.
Facebook, you using a hashtag has nothing to do with who's going to see your content.
Okay.
Instagram, it's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, use them on Instagram. That's where they're supposed to be used. Instagram platform is used a whole lot differently than Facebook's platform. And this a known fact on Facebook, when people see this batch of hashtags, they look at spam. And it's the people that are on Instagram that are putting all these hashtags on Facebook. And it's because Facebook owns Instagram, so they think they're supposed to behave on Facebook the way they behave on Instagram. And that's not the case. They're not helping themselves. On Facebook, now if you're doing business on Instagram, the way you behave over there is going to be different than the way you do business on Facebook, because they have a different algorithm and they have different processes. Facebook, if you're building a business on Facebook, you want to keep people on Facebook, and therefore you want to let them know. And that's why I'm saying you market what you're doing. You tell them. If you want to know more, look for hashtag, whatever your hashtag is, giving them a call to action. Now, I understand, Sandra, with you in the industry that you're working through, but using a hashtag for sleep, happiness, a healthy eating, healthy living doesn't have anything to do to help you with your business, because you are trying to connect two caregivers who care for a family member for their self-care. So they're not going to go looking for content about happiness or sleep on Facebook unless you tell them If you want more tips on healthy sleep and you've got a hashtag attached to the content that you've created, you can tell them to search for that hashtag. But again, it's going to show up everybody in the world that has used that hashtag.
Mm.
And that's the reason they tell you not to use those hashtags that have thousands or hundreds of users, because it's relevant to so many people. You want to stay focused on your business, your brand, what you do and who you are. And I mean, the most hashtags to be used should be 3 at the most. 2 to 3. Most of the time I use Ask Coach MJ, and I use Coach MJ Works because my Facebook group gave me that hashtag that says to them who I am. And so they gave me that hashtag. So I use that hashtag. Nobody else uses a hashtag. Nobody else needs to, because it's irrelevant to them. And that's what this says here. Do not use hashtags that are irrelevant to your content. And I can see where you could look at it, you know, people struggling with sleep. Yeah, but hashtag sleep's not going to attract them to you unless you have a hashtag that has a tip or two. You've maybe maybe you're doing a series on healthy sleep. You know, you're doing a monthly series on getting the best sleep you can for your life. Well, create a hashtag that matches that specific content geared to you. And you
So
can
then,
tell them.
okay. So then I can create a I can create a branded hashtag.
Yeah,
And
hashtags are created. Hashtags are not something that's there because Facebook said you can only use these hashtags. Hashtags are created by people.
Okay.
And the best way to do it is sit down and think of different hashtags that you might want. Okay, Amy, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. You have a great rest of the night yourself. And you want to you got to have a strategy behind your behavior on Facebook. And as a business owner, you want it to be a business strategy. You know, like Marcy, she could be a hashtag organizer Marcy, or Marcy the organizer, or Marcy the vendor expert, or whatever, you know, just something that speaks about who she is and what she does, who she serves. And you want to get it to be something that's branding you. So a lot of times it has to have your name in it. Or it has
So
to
I can do something. Sandra Knight coaches self-care. Sandra Knight coaches about self-care, you know.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, or Sandra, your self-care coach, or, you know, whatever, but you don't want to make it, you know, huge. You don't want to make it miles long either, because
Right.
you
Okay.
got to type it out. I mean, it's okay if you do that because you got to type it out. People aren't going to type it looking for it because they're just going to hit that hashtag unless they got to type it into the search bar. If you tell them, search for hashtag Ask Coach MJ, and you'll find all my content. Or search for PMA challenge, hashtag PMA challenge. You're going to find everybody that participated in that Facebook challenge and content, you know. So you want to have a strategy behind it.
Okay.
That makes sense? And again, whatever you come up with, you type it out in the search bar on Facebook to see if anybody is using that hashtag. And if, like, I was going to use Ask Margine or Ask Coach Margine, guess what? There was somebody that was using Ask Coach Margine. So that's where I went to Ask Coach MJ.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think one hashtag with that, but it's because somebody else was using it. I decided not to use that one.
Right.
Where can I'm sorry, go ahead. Where can I find information about as to how to brand yourself using hashtags? I mean, do you have
I
it
just
in
told you how. I just told you how.
okay.
That's what I teach.
Okay.
I teach that.
You never, like she said, you never want it to be too long, and you want to search it. You can Google it or Microsoft or whatever you use and search it to see if others are using it. Like my hashtag, you can search hashtag million planners and you'll only get my content because guess what? I'm the only one that uses it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's something I teach. I learned it from Mark Lalone, and you're in Branding University. He's the one that taught us that. And but that's what I teach. It's part of my training.
So what so I can find information about what you teach.
No, you can't because I teach it.
Let me rephrase my question. The talking about the things that you learn, if I'm looking at, if I'm on Branding University or Branding U University, some of these types of tips are available there. Yes, no, no.
That tip is not there, no.
Okay.
Because we were in private coaching sessions with Mark. There was a whole team of us.
Okay.
That's where we learned it from him.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
in Branding University.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I mean, if you want to know more, we can have a talk about it sometime, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's what I use and it's what I teach, and it works.
Okay.
Branding
Well,
is everything to your business.
Yeah, it
The
is.
right branding can make or break you.
Mhm. Exactly. And you gotta, when you're deciding and laying out your branding, you gotta stay true to your branding. Nobody can
Yeah,
teach you branding, Sandra. You are your brand, but you have to decide, what do I want my brand to look like? Do I want it to be high integrity? Do I want it to be dependable? Do I want it to be honest? Whatever characteristics you project to your audience, that's your brand. Those are the things that you have to be consistent in. You can't be honest today and then tell stories tomorrow. That's not going to work.
exactly.
Does that make sense?
You,
But the branding journey in Mark is a brander. That's, like I said, that's where I learned. That was from him. That's what he does. He is the trainer on branding. That's who he is. So all the content that he has in his university is going to help you with your brand. Definitely, definitely.
you, you
And
want to put your, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, you want to put your personality into it and you want it to be something that people will remember because you want them to associate it with you and they'll say, hey, I saw something by such and such and they had this cute little penguin on their branding or whatever it is. And then they'll remember who they saw.
Yeah, and it's like my logo here is MJ, and then the outer circle is C for my last name. That's my logo. So because I have it in different places, eventually when people see that logo, oh yeah, that's Coach MJ. Oh yeah, I know her, just by that logo. But it takes time to build that, and then you have to make sure that it's being placed in the right places as well. It's on my website, it's in some of my emails and so on and so forth. So you have to, then that's where people will connect the dots. It's just some little simple thing that'll get them to remember and relate that to somebody. What is it that you want people to relate to? You know, you guys haven't seen Amy's logo now. She's got her hobby horse business that she's starting. And people see that now, they're gonna know that's the hobby horse. That's the hobby horse lady, you know? And more and more she puts that out there, the more and more people are gonna recognize it and remember, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know her. You know, and that's what you want. That's what you want your brand to be, to attract people to you. It takes time to build a brand, but we have to be doing it in a strategic way, not just throw things out there and hope it sticks to the wall. You have to have a strategy that feels good, works good for you, and makes you stand out as your brand. Like Marcy's not the planner. She's Marcy, the guru of organization, getting you straightened out during the day, keeping you organized, keeping your day on task. That's who Marcy is. But she's not the planner, the equipment. She's the person of that brand, of her. Just like you're the person who helps the caregivers stay well so they can continue to care for their loved one. What does that look like? Maybe it would be you standing behind a rocking chair, rocking that elderly person. Maybe it would be you behind a wheelchair, pushing that person, you know, up to the doctor's office, or carrying that small child that has a certain illness that keeps that child from being able to move properly, you know, whatever. You got to be thinking about, what do you want your brand to look like? It takes time. You have to meditate on it. You have to think about it, and you have to find things that make you feel good about your brand. Does that help?
It does.
Nobody can tell you what your brand is, if that's what you're trying to find, is somebody to give it to you. You can pay somebody thousands of dollars to create a brand for you, yes. That doesn't mean you're going to be happy with it.
Mm.
And if you don't have thousands of dollars to spend, you have to work it out. So, okay, guys, 8:20. I pretty much went through most of what I had for what AI was saying. It just says maintain a professional and respectful tone in all your interactions and avoid becoming confrontational or argumentative. And that was one of the things I was trying to say earlier, when you have someone that reacts to a post that you created, or even a comment that you made on someone's content because they were sitting funny when they read it, or they were having heartburn when they read it, or they didn't feel good at the moment and they reacted, misunderstood the content, and vomited. Now you just let it go. You don't react. You know, you got to make sure that you just keep your cool, stay calm and collected. I had a man on one of my posts that I know that I was not very happy with, the way that he commented on my content. And I took it off Facebook and I went to Messenger and I let him know, you know, I really don't appreciate you publicly stating your personal opinion. And it was an opinion about a influencer that I'm connected to. It's his opinion of that influencer. It was very disrespectful. You can have your opinion, but don't go putting it on somebody else's profile. It wasn't asked. You know, I was just telling them what I'm doing and he just vomited. You know, it's like, no, you don't do that. I know how you feel about this influencer. That's between you and him. But just because you feel that way about him does not mean that I feel that way about him. And it was wrong for him to put that on my profile. But if it had been a stranger, I would have just deleted it. I might have even blocked that person. But it was a friend of mine, you know, it was somebody that I've been connected to for years. You gotta live a life of integrity and professionalism in all aspects of your life and your business as a business owner. Right, Marcy? Yeah. Hopefully that helps. And I know that you do, Sandra. You do all that. But just those are just things to keep in mind of when you're listing out things about your brand, if you're going to start brainstorming, just take a piece of paper and just write down all the qualities that you have, everything that you want your brand to look like with words. So you can put it down there and then just start thinking about it and look for things. Maybe something's going to pop out. And the way that I got my logo was I always sign my letters, like if I write to my sister, my brother, or my aunt, or my uncle, or whatever, I would sign it with that M, J, and the C, and then I would draw some flowers. That was my signature at the end of my letters. And so that just became my brand.
Mm.
So, okay, guys.
Think about the
Go ahead.
main thing that you do to promote your business. And that is the best way to come up with your logo. That's how I got my hashtag, because I always said I want to sell 1,000,000 planners. So think about the one thing that you do the most and go from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
Marcy,
drives your business?
we've talked about she loves flowers. And flowers make her happy. Flowers just light up everything in her life. And so I told her to try to incorporate flowers into her brand in some
Yeah,
form or fashion.
yeah.
She did a post the other day. It was a video, and it was, I think it was like saying something like hello or whatever, but the wind was blowing this petal on this flower like it was waving at me.
Mm.
Hmm.
And I
Mhm.
thought, that is so cool. And I responded back, hi back, hi flower, is really what it was saying. It was saying,
Mm.
hi.
Mm.
But stuff like that can maybe inspire you, Sandra, to be recognizing something. And
Thank you. I appreciate that specific information that you gave at this moment, because then it lets me know to be more, not necessarily to be more critical, but to be more, well, I guess intentional in terms of how I'm using
more aware.
even something like that, which was innocent. I
I
just
know, I know.
Right.
It's like, man, she's good. Look what she did. She took the perfect opportunity. I thought, man, she's good.
If you have Canva, you can create a logo that you put on your graphics, and it could incorporate like a pretty flower with your hashtag. Like mine, I have like this cute little penguin, and it says hashtag 1,000,000 planners. And you'll see that on all my graphics, like my watermark or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you want to do as well. Like think about that.
Well, I had originally thought about the butterfly, because
Hmm.
it's transformative, and that's what my coaching and my caregiver's lifestyle is supposed to be about, transforming your perception of who you are as a caregiver, and how do you bring your best self to caregiving. So now
Yeah,
you've more
that's
food
good too.
food for thought. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. All
Right.
the things need to be put down. As a matter of fact, Marcy, she's got a picture. I'll see if I can find it. She's standing in front of a butterfly, and she didn't
Mhm.
even recognize that when I mentioned it to her.
Mm-mm.
Oh, man, it looks like you have wings.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was standing in front of a butterfly, and I mean, that silhouette
That could be perfect.
could be her
Mm-hmm.
logo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do in your hashtag, you could do something about transformative. You could make it like transformative caregiver or transformative caregiving,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because that's exactly what your brand is about.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the information. I really appreciate that.
All right, guys. Well, we probably need to
Awesome.
close out for the night if you're up to it.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate both of you. Thank you so much for your suggestions and for caring.
Yeah, we'll just keep working on it, you know, it's gonna take
Yeah.
time. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Not at
I
all.
know.
Show us and show us what you come up with when you've gotten it narrowed down.
Yeah,
Okay,
or when
I
you have
will.
something, you know, even just something
Right.
to even just look at or whatever, or talk about. And it's probably gonna change. It's not gonna
Mhm,
necessarily stay what you come up with originally.
mhm,
Right.
mhm,
Yeah. It'll evolve over time
Yeah.
until you have something that you are truly
In love with, yeah.
happy with.
mhm,
That
mhm,
speaks everything about you.
mhm,
Right. Exactly.
mhm. Great. Thank you. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
ladies. Love you
Take
guys.
care. Have a good week. Take care.
Yeah, have a
Bye.
good rest of the night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.